before we start, actually, the one thing that we really need to do is I need to show you the artwork that I've done for this.
Yeah, shoot, go for it.
That I'm extremely proud of. So, to explain for anyone, and probably for yourself, actually, there's an anime that came out in the past about a month ago now, called Keep Your Hands Off My Isoken, or Keep Your Hands Off My Film Club, which is great. It's made by people who worked for Studio Ghibli. And the opening title sequence, which I'm pretty sure I showed you, Jake, it's one of the weirdest and coolest things ever. So what a lot of people are doing is they're putting they're putting different characters into the same poses that the girls do. Let's start off with the one I'm most proud of, which is of course Jodie Whittaker. Get a load of this.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I think she looks. I mean, we'll go a bit more into this in the actual thing, but I think Jodie Whittaker is the perfect Doctor to have an animated series, and I think that this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
While I'm not the best artist, I think that perfectly. I think that
encapsulates the character. Yeah, I could imagine her doing that.
Now, here's mine.
Oh my god.
But I think I've saved the best for last, for your appreciation. If that doesn't sum both of us up and Jodie, I don't know what does.
Well, you've got my watch on the wrong arm, but yeah.
So, on the 1st of January this year, 2020, I released the final part of an unintentional trilogy looking back at Russell T Davies' time on Doctor Who and his expanded Whoniverse. Someone actually commented on the video saying that they wanted me to if I was actually going to do a Series 12 review, and in all honesty, I wasn't going to. But a little something happened about halfway through the series that made a lot of people go, oh, I wonder if this guy who likes the Russell T Davies era is going to do a Series 12 review. And yeah, that's probably why this is happening now. But the fact is, while I know a fair amount of Doctor Who, I don't know everything. Which is why you're here, good friend and long-time friend of the channel, Jake Hall.
Yes, that is me, but I wouldn't say I was an expert.
Well, you know more than I do.
Well, to be fair, that's not hard.
Well, thanks. So yeah, this is our very terribly improvised and terribly done review of Series 12.
Yeah.
Forewarning for everyone, this will feature opinions. You have yours, we have ours. We might have differing opinions. We don't quite know yet, because we haven't told each other what we thought.
Also, spoilers for Series 12 of Doctor Who.
Who's watching this if they haven't watched it, though, you know?
It's the internet.
Yeah. So, as we start, I think we should very briefly go over what we think of the cast before Series 12, so that people know where we're at, as well as a very brief overview of what we thought of Series 11.
That's fair.
So, Jodie, you know, our 13th Doctor, conditional clause.
For quotation marks.
Oh, I hate that that's... Oh, right. No, I'm not starting with hate. I'm starting with like... I don't want to start with hate, because that's not what Jodie is. Jodie Whittaker, as a person, is a wonderful person. I will immediately go out on a limb and say for a very long time, I wasn't a fan of the idea of a female Doctor, but thankfully, thank God, Jodie has proven me wrong.
Yeah,
I actually genuinely really like her first episode. I think it's a very good first episode.
Oh yeah, me too.
The thing I very fondly remember, and the thing that I think her character should be based off of, is that bit where I can't remember if she's injecting or uninjecting the tracer thing. No, it's not actually. No, she's taken, I think it's Ryan's phone to do some scanny thing. And just like, oh hey, I need to delete your memory. And he's like, no, you've deleted my memory that had all my stuff on it. And she goes, not anymore. And I just thought, that's cute. That's fun. I enjoy
Yeah,
that.
that's what it should be. Yeah, just like a goofy, fun
Yeah.
character.
And I think that's where Jodie's Doctor really does excel, when she's being a bit goofy and a bit silly. I'm not a fan
Oh yeah,
of goofier, sillier Doctors.
but for Jodie it works
Yeah, you know,
because
like,
she's
I mean,
like she's kind of like so bubbly and
Hmm.
fun-loving that it's like, oh yeah, I can get with that. That's fun. Oh yeah, it's enjoyable. I like that.
considering 12's final words were essentially to his next self. What was it? Be like, run fast, be kind.
Never, always try to be good, but never fail to be kind.
Yeah, reaffirming the whole Doctor's mantra that Moffat introduced. You know, it is nice that that's what Jodie's Doctor does seem to be sort of based off of, but at the same time, it does kind of seem weird that her personality is based off something the previous showrunner wrote. Even after that full first series, I still didn't quite. I personally didn't feel like I knew who her Doctor was. Like she was still finding herself. To me, it felt like she was still going through those first 15 hours of regeneration sickness, where she was like, "Oh, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing."
Well, I think what hindered Jodie the most in series 11 was the fact that she had 3 companions to bounce off of and take up screen time away from her.
Oh, do we really want to jump into the companions immediately?
I'm just saying that's what I put it down to.
Yeah.
Like, too many cards on the table to really show the ace in the hole.
Because
That's a
Jodie
terrible
does
analogy.
legitimately have some, particularly in this series, in Series 12, I feel like she does have some very good moments
Oh yeah.
as the Doctor. But mentioning the companions, every single scene where Jodie is being amazing, it's when the companions aren't around.
Exactly. I've noticed that as well.
I don't like saying bad things about this main cast, because Jodie, Mandip, Tanzin, and Bradley, you know, they seem like the closest cast.
Oh yeah.
As
Like,
friends.
when you see the interviews, they love each other.
If they had that kind of chemistry on the show itself, then I think I would be a lot happier with these characters than I actually am. I mean, we might as well go into the companions, quite frankly, because there's not much to cover on them. It's just there isn't.
I've got chips.
I do not care about any of these companions, and I hate to say that, because we have an episode this series that goes into these characters and sort of looks at them on a psychological level, and I still don't care. You know?
I know exactly what you mean. Like, Graham is the best. Like, hands down, easily.
I don't know if that's because Chris Chibnall can write a funny old man character, or if it is because Bradley Walsh is the most experienced out of all these guys. I don't know what it is, because it's certainly not from the writing side, and I feel quite firmly in saying that. Not like, I mean, I don't really know what to say on any of these companions, because there is so little to them, and so little has stuck with me.
Like, out of the entire 2 series that they've been in the TARDIS,
yeah,
like, we could pretty much sum up their character arcs on our fingers.
Can we? Because I don't think they have character arcs.
Well,
the closest to a character arc is probably Graham getting over Grace's death.
Yeah.
So Series 11, just very, very briefly, for me, started off quite well with Woman Who Fell to Earth, but then immediately sort of like came down. I wasn't fond of Ghost Monument. There was a lot that could have been done with it. It could have been a lot better, I feel.
Yeah, it was kind of like a wasted. Oh, we've got to get to the TARDIS. There just happens to be a treasure hunt going toward it.
Yeah.
But
Was it even a treasure
the
hunt? Because
treasure hunt,
I do
right?
not remember that episode.
It was there was loads of people gathering on the planet to try and get to the ghost monument
A
to win
load
a
of
prize or
people.
something.
A load of people. Two people. Two
Yeah,
two
well,
people. Two people,
yeah, well,
Jake.
a load of people. Yeah, well, a load of people in the Chibnall era is about two people.
Hmm.
Like, look at Ascension of the Cybermen. There's a few humans left.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we will. We will.
That's just. If this video had a subtitle, it's called "We'll get to that." Rosa was an episode.
It was fine. It was. I think it was an important episode, but it could have been done better. Like, I get it, but like, there didn't need to be an alien element in it. It could have just been a pure historical.
Yeah. No, actually, yeah. No, yeah, I can agree with that.
Because we haven't had a single pure historical episode in New Who
Hmm.
after like 12 series now. I can't even remember what episode 4 was.
The spiders one.
Oh god.
I only remember that because it's spiders, and I don't like spiders.
Yeah, enough
I don't.
said
I
about
don't
that.
like. Okay, here's one of the things I like. One of the many things I don't like about the Chris Chibnall era. I don't like it. I don't like the name of it. Arachnids in the UK because it's a lie. It's not because the title to me says like, oh hey, the whole of the UK has been invaded by spiders. That's not
No,
what
it
actually
was
happened.
just one
It's Sheffield.
hotel and a few fucking
Yeah.
flats.
Yeah, so you know what it isn't. It's not and I get that it's like a joke and a jab at anarchy in the UK, but
Hmm.
screw that. Alliteration is much better. You know what a better title would have been? Bloody Spiders in Sheffield, because that's just fun to say.
just just including the bloody, just bloody spiders in
Bloody
Sheffield.
Spiders in Sheffield.
Bloody spiders in Sheffield.
Well, they were eating people, weren't they? So there would probably be blood, wouldn't there?
Yeah, probably. But you've got to remember that episode was resolved through the power of dubstep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's never forget that.
Well, no, it wasn't resolved through that. It was resolved with the Doctor going, "Oh, hey, don't shoot the spider. Let's starve them. Let's starve
Yeah,
spiders in a bunker, because I'm on the moral high ground."
this is the right thing to do.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. The thing about the Doctor's morality is a very interesting topic to talk about, and I don't think
Mm,
we have. I mean, we may touch upon it, but I don't think we have a full time to fully explore it.
no.
Because yeah, we got to talk about that pating, though. Am I right? Friggin'
Oh yeah, oh yeah, the pating. Oh yeah, Stitch in
that.
space.
Yeah, that was an episode.
Yeah.
So, Demons of the
Anyway, moving on.
Punjab. Demons of the. Actually, no. Was Kablam before that, or was it
I can't
Demons
remember.
and then? Hmm.
I honestly
Anyway,
can't remember.
those were two episodes. We had like three
Yeah.
episodes. We had three episodes in a row where the bad guy wasn't an alien but a human, if I remember correctly.
Well, in the pating was just a thing to get rid of. You couldn't kill it. You couldn't stop it. It was just a
So,
thing.
so they yeeted it into the sun.
Yeah, so they yeeted it into the sun. And then Demons of Punjab were, oh yeah, they're not actually trying to hurt anyone. They're just here to observe.
Which I
Because,
don't mind actually, because I
yeah, I
remember
don't mind that either.
I remember those bat costumes being really nice. They were some
Mm,
really nicely done bat costumes. Then it was Kablam.
kablam. Which, you know, it was a thing that
It was
happened.
it was a thing. What was after that?
Um, was it the one with the deaf girl in the forest in Norway? With
No,
the
no, friggin' it was the one with Alan Cummings. It was the
oh
Witchfinders.
yeah, the Witchfinders.
How did we
God,
forget Alan Cumming? Good God. Alan Cumming was the best thing about that episode, but the episode itself was a bit naff.
it was. I liked it until it was like some alien mud monster thing locked in a prison under a hill.
Under a tree.
Yeah,
Then it was, like you said, the Deaf Girl one. With
It
the
comes at night or something.
yeah, I can't remember what it's called. The one with the frog.
Yeah, the frog
um,
god.
so
See, I didn't actually have a problem with that.
no, I wasn't. It's not one I would go back and rewatch. You know.
Nah, it's kind of like a throwaway episode, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the only important thing that happens in it is that Ryan calls Graham Grandad.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's the end of the him getting over Grace story. So
Yeah,
I will give it that.
yeah.
Then it was the Battle of the Unpronounceable Name.
Venenoff, Kavnos or something.
Don't just
Rabbit hole too deep.
the worst season final. Then it was
Resolution.
Resolution, which it was fine, I guess. This episode hasn't like this series hasn't even well this era hasn't really impressed. It does not impress me much. Because
To
we had
quote a
like
phrase.
yeah good first episode, but then
Mm,
sort of like it
slippery
has
slope.
like yeah a very slippery slope downward. Um, how would you say it? How would you say it's for you?
I would say it's the same. Like the woman who felt worth was genuinely a pretty damn good episode,
Mm,
and then it just started to decline
yeah,
ever so slightly for the rest of the series. But I did like Resolution.
fair dues.
I thought the Dalek was pretty badass. The way it was just slaughtering everyone. Like we
Yeah,
haven't seen a Dalek go on a murder spree in quite a while.
I am a bit confused on how a reconnaissance Dalek, which is meant to be like the first line of attack for a Daleks, were taken down by Vikings of all things, when
Yeah.
guns and that can't do it. But sure, I guess I'm used to Doctor Who disappointing me at this point. And it hasn't changed, because we now jump into Series 12 on New Year's Day with Spyfall Part 1 and 2.
Yay.
So, Doctor Who has introduced a whole new generation of people to...
That's how you're starting this?
Well, I find it very weird that the Master comes back with the TCE, which we haven't seen since, like, the friggin' 80s. Like,
Oh God, I didn't
maybe
even
like...
think of that.
No, yeah, and he
Oh
keeps one of
no.
them in a little box. Isn't it just weird that he keeps that and he helps friggin'... I can't even remember what he was called now. Lenny Henry. He helps Lenny
Lenny
Henry
Henry.
start up a web searching engine called. I think we know what that web search is most often used for. Good freaking god!
Oh, I can't
And,
believe you
and
started us off with that.
well, because it's the only thing I can really think about. There is nothing in this opening two-parter that. The only other thing that I can really say about this opening two-parter is the fact that friggin' Stephen Fry and Lenny Henry were wasted. You know?
Stephen Fry even more so.
Oh, I've wanted Stephen Fry on Doctor Who for so long. Stephen Fry is one of my
Oh, same.
favourite people. And they bring him in as someone who could essentially be like a modern version of the Brigadier.
Mm,
Like, I could envision him as... Well, I mean, he was the head of friggin' MI6 or something.
MI6.
Why was it
Yeah.
even MI6? Was it because they actually just didn't have Unit and Torchwood around? Is that why they were doing it?
It's because Spyfall is clearly based on Skyfall, like
Okay, but why
pun-wise.
though?
And then
Why
James
did it have to
Bond
be
works
about
for
spies?
MI6.
Why did it have
Yeah,
to be...
that's the thing. Why spies? Like, I understand that there's alien spies invading Earth through different, like, locations and that, and time periods. But why are they assassinating spies in particular?
Do they ever explain that? Because you've actually gone back and
No.
rewatched all these. You've taken notes.
Yeah. And it's never explained why it's, like, the spies in particular, unless I missed, like, a one-line explanation somewhere.
Great. Love it.
Although there were a few things I did like of the Spyfall 2 part of it.
Sasha Darwin,
Yeah.
probably
Mm,
my favourite Master.
mm,
I love how he is basically an evil version of the 11th Doctor.
mm,
He's
I
basically
noticed that.
evil 11, and
Yeah.
I'm more than fine with that. Um, I loved I love the scene where it's the Victorian England one, and he storms that science fair or whatever, and
Yeah.
he is like say my name. Sorry, wait, love, I can't hear you. Like I thought that is just
Yeah. That
so
was
good,
so. Oh, you could
very
feel the
very good.
tension in the room there.
And then they made him a Nazi.
Yeah, that's something I want to talk about actually. Like the way the Doctor
Mm.
deals with that is like holy shit. Like before we were talking about the Doctor's moral compass.
Yeah, so the Master has some sort of perception filter to make him appear. Probably had blonde hair and blue eyes. Actually, the first thing I think of is friggin' Damien Dark. That's what I'm imagining. I imagine he made himself look like Damien Dark from the friggin' Arrowverse. And actually,
Yeah,
if
why not?
just saying, if there was ever an American Doctor Who, I would put him as a Master. He would be a great Master.
Oh, he would be a great master.
Mm.
But basically the Doctor like sends out a transmission to England saying, "Oh, thanks for your information" or something like that, like an easily interceptable message,
Mm.
which like incriminated the Master, and then she kind of like deactivated the perception filter and left him to the mercy of the Nazis
Yeah,
in the middle of Paris in World War II.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean,
You know that
like,
that moral compass?
no, even Lenny Henry, who himself could have been an amazing choice for the Master.
Mm.
You pick Lenny Henry, one of the best British comedians we've ever had, and you give him one of the most boring roles I think we've ever seen on this show. What was his plan? To turn
Uh,
people into hard
uh,
drives?
yeah, so the computers could be better computers. But you would still keep a few people alive to run maintenance? It's like,
Would
what?
he? I don't. I
Yeah,
don't.
that was the plan. He was going to turn the population of Earth into hard drives for the artificial intelligence computers, so that his search engine, I assume his search engine, could be like the best thing ever.
So people can look up all that forgotten Tumblr porn.
Yeah, but
Mm.
like at the same time, why were the Kasavan even involved with that?
Were they ever revealed to be something important? What was
They they were alien spies from the other side of the universe.
literally just that?
Pretty much. Unless
Hmm.
I missed something.
Hmm.
The Four
Um.
Knocks was a good little thing, I thought. Like that was
Oh
pretty
yeah, that was
cool. Where it
nice.
was like, I know what'll get under his skin, and she's like dun 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 dun. I thought that was a good little reference. I like that. More
Nice
of
little
that, please.
throwback.
More of that, please.
What more series? More things to remind people of series 3 when the show was good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that'll do.
Yeah. Is there anything else to say about
Speaking,
these opening two parters, or do we read, or do we want to move on?
well, there's the very end.
Oh God! How did I actually forget that? Yeah. So the Master destroyed Gallifrey, killed all the
Again,
Time Lords,
again.
and yeah, it was a good, interesting shock.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it kind of
that's all it was.
so I mean I can give Chibnall. Well, no, I can't give Chibnall credit because it's Chris Chibnall. But I can understand if he didn't have an idea on what to do with the Time Lords. So by getting rid of them, because like, like if you don't have an idea for something, then like don't do anything with it.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
when they make a sequel to a film, but they can't get the original cast. Why do it?
yeah, yeah,
It's kind of like, why would you like introduce Gallifrey again to kill it off like 5 years later, like permanently? What's the point?
yeah. It is a bit of a big middle finger for that, like for bringing Gallifrey back. Because it's like,
It
oh, it's
it
back,
kind of
and now it's gone
it,
again.
yeah, like we only had like one story on it, and it was a shit story, and now it's gone
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Um, Actually, regarding the Master, so we don't exactly know where he places in the Master's uh,
Hmm.
timeline. So,
Yeah, and
big,
Sasha Dowan and Chris Chibnall both said it's up to us to decide where the Master
yeah.
fits in the timeline.
So, what do you think? Where do you think he comes from?
I am pretty fine with him regenerating from John Sim.
Yeah, that was my that. So, I came up with this really convoluted, very Moffat-ish solution for how he's around. Because the problem I had was that if he was like an immediate continuation of Missy, him going back to being, oh, I'm crazy psychopath man again, does
Hmm,
not make sense. Because like
doesn't fit.
as much as we're not fans of the Moffat era, I at least appreciate what he tried to do with Missy in that final series, and
Oh yeah,
I do kind of like where Missy ends up.
it's like the best character arc of the Capaldi era.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, because she stabs John Sim, and then John Sim laser screwdrivers Missy, but
Yeah,
he distinctly says that that's cancelled out all the future regenerations. You're going
yeah.
like there's no more after you.
This is
And
the end.
yeah, and I mean there was no way that the Master was never going to come back. Like that is
Oh yeah.
literally impossible.
Hmm.
Um, and as much as I hate to say it, we've just got to accept it. Because that is a
Oh
terrible
yeah.
excuse. Looking at you, Moffat, with your oh, I've got a cup of tea. Where did I get it from? I'm the doctor. Just accept it. Oh, I hate that so much. So what I like to think is that as John Sim's master is going back down through the cyber ship, as he's like starting his regeneration process,
Hmm.
he's like, I don't want to become that person. That's exactly like that's the kind of person I don't want to regenerate into. So
Yeah.
he forcefully changes his regeneration cycle to not become Missy.
Hmm.
So this Sasha Darwin's master is the one after Sim, but Missy is also after John Sim because obviously with him now creating Sasha Darwin master, Missy can't exist. But then a paradox ensues, so original timeline comes in where Sims does regenerate into Missy, thereby causing like a weird sort of like internal loop where the only way that Sasha Darwin can exist is if Missy existed to force John Sim to regenerate into him.
All right.
See what I mean?
Bootstrap paradox. Yeah,
That's
bootstrap
that's the
paradox.
one. Yeah.
Google it.
That's my head canon at least. There's no real way to back it up. I don't think it will ever be explained unless Big Finish does something. And I
Yeah,
hope.
I don't think that'll ever be explained. Like the
I want to know what
Master's
Big Finish is going to
regenerating
do,
thing.
particularly considering what happened in the last episode. But we will get to.
No, we will get to that.
Oh. Anything?
Ah,
Um. But anyway, shall we get on to everyone's favorite episode of the
yeah,
series?
the 46 minutes and 34 seconds long gauntlet of an episode that is known only as Orphan 55.
I like how you actually timed it.
Yeah, I was like looking at it and I was just like, this is 46 minutes and 34 seconds of my life that I'm never going to get back.
And you had to watch it twice. You
Yeah,
chose to watch it a
I
second time.
watched it twice because it changes Doctor Who fundamentally forever. And that's not even before we get to the finale.
Yeah.
I was watching it for the first time. And do you know when they're like in the little car thing and he's on the roof
I know
and he's
what
like,
one you're talking about. Yes, go
yeah,
on.
and it's like, oh, but where's Benny? And he comes over the radio. He's like, oh, here, I'm fine, I'm all right. Wouldn't do us a favor though, would you? Please kill me. And I was like, can you blame the guy? Look at the fucking woman he's with. And she's like, Benny! For like the entire first quarter of the episode, it's like her only line.
I feel really bad for this, right? When he came on and was like, oh, hey, could someone please kill me? I pissed myself laughing.
And so did I.
Because you know what? Like, it starts up with the whole, oh, hey, would you marry me? And I was like, okay, that's kind of sweet. Whatever, yeah, what's coming? And then just, oh, by the way, when you get a chance. And it's just, again, probably no script editor this season, but just good God. There was a furry in the episode as well, so that was a thing.
Yes, hyphen with a free.
I don't even remember. I'm surprised you remember the name.
Yeah, I only remember because I've watched the episode twice now. But one thing that really bothered me.
Okay, yeah.
The fucking wig.
For the guy from In-Betweeners?
Yeah, like, I've never seen a worse wig in my entire life.
Yeah. The poor kid had to wear one as well.
Yeah, but the kid's wasn't as bad. It was so obviously a wig. It was like, what the fuck am I even watching? How has this made it past the fucking costume department?
I mean, remember back in Series 2 when we had freaking cat nuns and they looked amazing?
Yeah.
And then
And
now
here
we get...
we are, 14 years later.
Let's see how far we've come.
Speaking of going places...
Oh dear.
When they go out of the biodome...
Yeah.
To find Benny...
Yeah.
Why do they have external all-land vehicles? Second off, why are there roads? Third off...
you should have ended with that one. Why are there roads?
No, but there is. It's like this massive fucking main road going straight past the dome in a straight line. Why? Why do you have maintenance hatches to the surface miles away from the dome, which lead directly to the air vent?
Yeah.
Also, why do you only have 2 security people on a particularly hostile planet? Like, there's no security team working behind the scenes.
I've got no answers. I genuinely can't remember.
Yeah, like, what the hell? And then the Earth twist happened.
Yeah. So there are a couple of things with that Earth twist. So they realize that it's Earth when they see some like a Russian subway sign on the wall.
Yeah.
Which even then, shouldn't the TARDIS have translated that?
Yes.
Okay then. Good.
But at the same time as that, if it's so far in the future, how come none of those tunnels have collapsed?
Well, to be fair, okay, like here's why the thing's still up, because it's in Russia, isn't it?
In Russia, they make it
in
last.
Soviet Russia, tunnel survives the nuclear winter. Global warming does nothing to glorious motherland bricks.
But another thing that I noticed was you've only got one mechanic on this entire hotel, and he is the shittest mechanic you will ever employ. How the fuck did he get a job as a mechanic? Like, his son can figure out the shit that he can't, and he's like 12.
I love how most of your problems with this is just coming from, like, you're basically Ofcom just coming in and like looking at the place. There's a crack in the wall there. You want to seal that up? Like this carpet's like it's been ripped. That's going to be a fine. You've only got one mechanic on site. We're going to need more than that. You're fucking off guard.
This vent leads directly to the fucking outside world where the dregs could easily access it and fucking tear the hotel apart.
Oh my god, I love it. So that final message from the end of the episode, where it is like, this future is changeable. It actually that itself brought up a lot of questions within the community, because what that's done, the way time travel worked in Doctor Who was that there's a very flimsy sort of, this is what's in the future, this is what's in the past, changing it is wrong and all that.
These events have to happen, they're called fixed points.
So where does this version of Earth fall into it? It doesn't, that doesn't work. This was a parallel future, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. This was an alternate reality.
Yeah, so...
Like, the last time they were in a different reality, it was like Series 2, and that was a big deal.
Didn't see no crashed blimps, though. So... There was no crashed blimps in that universe.
Well, to be fair, that was London. This is Russia.
In Soviet Russia, we do not have blimps. We use hovercraft. Hovercraft is good.
And poorly executed maintenance tunnels, apparently.
Where else are we going to put hovercrafts? Russia needs storage space for hovercrafts. Yeah, so anytime we go to the future now, it's like whether... Well, basically anytime we've gone to the future at all, it's just like, well then, does it even...
Well, even then, it could be any time. Any time at all, because say you go back to...
But the fact is, we've seen that the human race doesn't evolve into the dregs. Because even by the end of the universe, the humans are still humans. And sure, the Doctor says something like, sometime like you spend a couple of thousand years as clouds and another couple as downloads, but at the very end of the day, you always revert back to the very basic shape of human. Indomitable, that's the word. Indomitable! Ha!
It's actually indomitable. But even in Series 12, it pretty much nullifies Orphan 55 anyway, because the series finale is set in the future.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
During the Cyber Wars. So it's like, oh, well, there goes that fucking parallel universe. Guess we did save the planet after all.
This has been very highly regarded as the worst episode in the whole of Doctor Who. But Orphan 55, to me, it just didn't leave an impact. So by my estimate, it's just... Because I didn't care from the offset about Orphan 55, and I ended the episode still not caring. So it's still very bad, because I want to feel something from media, you know? That's what I mean. If I don't come out of a show not feeling anything, then why am I watching it? And again, it does suck that it is an ecological message behind it, because the fact is, our planet is fucked. And
we get the point. We're past the point of no return now, so why are you ramming it down our throats?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try and stop, either.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Actually, no. I've realised what my biggest problem with this episode is. So, I like Star Trek. Okay? The thing that's great about good Star Trek is that you should come out of it... Like the whole basis of Star Trek was that there's a hope for the human race. We will get past all these political struggles. We'll get past all these worries about money and friggin' nature, and we will, using science, we will be able to go forth, become the best that we can, and just explore the universe. And there's hope for the future, and through all the hardships, there is, at the end of the day, there is hope for the future that we will be better. While Doctor Who doesn't have that same sort of thing, it's something that I would like to see Doctor Who strive for. It's something that I did actually get a little bit from in the Russell T Davies era. I can't speak for the Moffat era because I haven't rewatched all of it yet. But Orphan 55 basically spits in that. It's like, no, yeah, we're fucked. We're dregs. The planet's doomed. So
Yeah, if you don't do this now,
yeah.
you're knackered.
But actually, literally the thing I quoted like 5 minutes ago. The at the end of the day, humans will still be around. That is a good bit of hope, and particularly in today's society where we're facing, friggin' viruses and the inevitability of World War III. Having a bit of hope would go a very long way.
A long way.
I
think that sums it
yeah.
up nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. Now on to a good episode.
Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror.
So I actually really like this one. Like genuinely, I thought it. To be fair, considering the 3 episodes that came before, I thought it was certainly more enjoyable.
It was certainly more of a return to the form of Doctor Who.
It was a very good historical, I think.
But
okay,
I think Ryan sums it up very nicely at the end, for me anyway. Whereas like the woman was like, is this usually like, how do your days usually go? Are they usually like this? And it was like, Ryan turns to her and he's like, pretty average. And I think that just sums up the episode so perfectly. It's just,
I'll give you that.
average.
It's an average episode, but again, considering what we've had, and again, considering I only really liked The Woman Who Fell to Earth before this, having another episode to like is nice. So the guy who played Nikola Tesla, he's actually from, he starred in another time travel series called Timeless, which I adored the episodes I watched. So it was very nice to see him again.
I do believe that's on my list. On
Genuinely,
Netflix.
mate, I really enjoyed it. One of 2 very good American time travel shows.
The other is Legends of Tomorrow.
So it was nice seeing him again. I loved literally every single scene he was in. I loved when they go back to his lab and they're looking at like the orb thing, and Jodie's got the screwdriver out. And he goes up and he's just like, oh, hey, this is a device that senses energy. Did you make it? I'm just like, yeah, I made it out of spoons. And they're just bouncing off each other. And it's so...
yeah, like really works,
they are so lovely together. So, I cannot pronounce her name, and I'm very sad. But the actress who played Rani. Yeah,
Angie
I know.
something or other.
Yes, but she the actress who played Rani came back as the villain, the queen, the Scorpion Queen, basically.
Yeah, like that. Just as a note.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that they weren't related to the Rachnos in some way. Like cousins.
I don't mind that it wasn't mentioned. I would have liked it to have been mentioned, but I can live without it.
Oh yeah. It doesn't take away from the episode at all.
But yeah, I thought she did a very wonderful performance. It was great seeing her.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it's. She must have had. I can imagine she had so much fun because she spent like a good 4 years of her youth running from these rubber-suited monsters.
Now she gets to play one. Yeah, it's like wish fulfillment.
Maybe not wish fulfillment, but it's just like the shoes on the other foot now. It's like she gets to try something.
It's nice that a companion of who you consider to be a female doctor,
yes,
was able to share an episode with a female doctor.
Yeah,
for real.
And the fact that if push comes to shove and they're looking for new companions for maybe series 13, they've at least got someone on good terms to come back and maybe bring back a certain character who could
maybe
do
return.
More stories,
Yeah. Anyway, on to episode 5, Fugitive of the Judoon. It's nice seeing the Judoon again. Let's say that at the start.
Yes. Thing is, I remember very early on, someone made the joke, like on Twitter, that I bet they're gonna make this Judoon a female just to keep with the SJW stuff. And then they actually did make it. And then
It
they did actually
actually
make
was a
that person.
female, yeah.
Yeah. This episode obviously caused a lot of waves. I think this
Yes,
is
it did.
this is a prime example of, again, considering where the series went, how you can set up something really good, but then
Yeah.
in retrospect look back and it's not as good.
Agreed.
You know, like so. Let's list off all the good things. The Judoon,
Yes.
Ruth, and that
Yes.
reveal is an amazing reveal.
Yes.
The mystery that came from it is fantastic. Just
I agree.
her doctor from the very brief bit that we got is
You
great.
want to know more.
Oh, hells yeah.
You want to know more about this doctor, and that's what a build-up is meant to do.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, big finish, get on that.
Yeah.
Jack, obviously. So, right, okay,
yeah, obviously.
Jack is obviously like the best thing that happened in that episode. It was great seeing John Barrowman again.
Jack was the best thing that happened that series.
Yes, it is. It is, actually. It is. But he slid right back into that role. It was like Jack.
Yeah,
it was like Jack hasn't been
away.
gone. Like in Doctor Who terms, he's been gone for 10
years.
years. So he last appeared
in Doctor Who years.
bloody
years.
End of Time, and then we had Miracle Day in 2011, which was the last time we saw him.
On screen, anyway.
On screen, at least. There's certainly rumours that he's going to be coming back next series, series 13.
God, I hope.
He better be, because...
You can't leave it at that.
Good God, yeah.
Like, that was... Like, it was great to see him, but his contribution was absolutely pointless.
No, you want to know what was absolutely pointless? The companions in that story. And it really goes to show... No, I need to say this, because it proper annoys me. So, you bring back Jack, and he steals the scene. Every single scene that he was in that, he absolutely stole it, and showed to me how utterly pointless these three companions are. Because in the three major scenes that they have in this episode, which is the the start of the episode when they're in the TARDIS, here when they're in Jack's spaceship thing, and then at the very end, the three of them stand in a line, say nothing, no hand gestures, no emotion. They're all just standing there gormless like fucking sphinxes. Meanwhile, Jack and the Doctor, they're bouncing about the place, like flicking switches and doing things, and like, oh, you got to beware of the lone Cybermen. Deliver that message, because apparently I've forgotten how to send a text in the 21st century. The Doctor could have literally sent any kind of just like a message in a bottle, a pigeon, a brick through the TARDIS window, and that would have done more than these three companions did in that whole episode.
Yep.
They were so pointless, and even just...
Like, you don't realise how little they do. Like, acting-wise, until you've got John Barrowman in the room with them. Like Graham, fair enough. He did a few things. Like, he was charismatic and had a laugh, and he had a good rapport with Jack. Yeah, he had a good rapport with Jack, I thought. Like, for like the two lines that they shared.
I've got my angry bit out of the way. So, can I just say, I don't like the TARDIS interior that Jodie has. I'm not a fan of it. But the one they introduce here...
For Ruth.
Yes.
Probably
my new favourite. It's up there with Capaldi's. It's...
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
And as we see in the final, you can actually change the colours of it. And I don't mind spoiling that. It's like, you can... it's such a lovely... Like, they have gotten so much use out of the main original console since they rebuilt it for Adventures in Time and Space. And every time it turns up, it looks amazing. I loved how it looked in
Twice
Adventures in
Upon a
Time and
Time.
Space.
Yeah.
I love the look of it in Twice Upon a Time. Like literally, like if we went back to the classic looking TARDIS, where it is just a white room, just a like, I would be completely fine with that. We don't like. I like my
Same.
big grandiose things. Like I love the Eighth Doctor's one. The coral
Oh,
TARDIS that 9 and 10 had is great. Again, Capaldi's with the multi layers and the fact that it's a full room. Oh, it's so nice. But the simplicity of the original is,
you can't beat the original.
yeah.
Mm.
And even now, like, because this new one's got like new walls. It's got like underlighting, like floor grated light. Looks absolutely wonderful. Um, Even the exterior of the TARDIS itself, it was more slim, very similar to the 60s, 70s, and 80s TARDISes, which was a very nice touch, I feel.
I
Um,
agree. Where did you think Ruth's Doctor was going to fit into the timeline?
I didn't actually. I the episode left me on such of a high that I was perfectly fine with waiting to find out where she would fit.
Oh yeah.
I I saw a couple of theories. So one of the theories was that she was going to be one of the in-between regenerations for 2 and 3,
Yeah.
very much like the that classic fan film where they actually
Yeah.
got John
Like,
Pertwee in at the end to film the regeneration.
oh yeah. Like, of all the theories, that was the one I was leaning to the most if I had to pick one,
Yeah.
because it fit more.
Yeah. It made the
With
most sense.
Yeah, it fit more of what actually happened. There was a lot of speculation about the time before an unearthly child, whether the Doctor had prior incarnations, which was then there was a clip in Brain of Morbius that was used as
We will
evidence.
we will get to that. I was leaning more to parallel or even another universe Doctor
Mm,
myself,
I was thinking that as well,
or even
but
someone who was like, I'm a completely different Time Lord altogether, but I've taken the Doctor's name.
I never actually considered that one. That would have been interesting.
That's one that like that's what I've always uh, something I've wanted to explore more with Doctor Who. But I was extremely open and extremely uh I liked Ruth, the Ruth Doctor.
I did too.
Um, I'm not too crazy about her shirt.
No.
It's a bit too much, but at the same time, it is certainly very doctory. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
the glasses are great. I love the
Oh yeah.
glasses.
Oh yeah, the
Like,
glasses are awesome.
like they are proper. Don't fuck with me glasses, and I love
Yeah,
it.
like that look she gave Jodie when they were in the TARDIS, and Jodie
She
was like
gives
spewing a load of shit, and it's just like Ruth just looks at her over the glasses. Oh
yeah,
fuck,
she's got
that's the Doctor.
the best condescending look.
Yeah,
Um,
there were a few things that I picked up in the episode that I was like,
yeah,
and one of them was, like how at the very start in the square they scan Ruth and they confirm that she's human.
yeah,
They scan her again in the church,
yeah.
and she's suddenly the fugitive, even though she hasn't like been through the
Regeneration process.
yeah, like no, like the chameleon arch break the glass thing.
That's what
Even
I
though
meant.
she
Yeah.
yeah, even though she hadn't done that yet, she was identified as the fugitive.
Hmm.
But like, how did the Judoon know that when it hadn't thing yet and
Was
they'd done
it
it earlier?
something to do with I forget what was in the box actually, because I made a big deal about that box.
Oh yeah, what was in that box?
You tell me. You're the one who rewatched it. You took notes.
I can't remember. That was a thing that I did as well, where it's like, well, Jodie was like, well, you're obviously someone from my future, and then Ruth was like, well, you're obviously someone from my future, so one of us is wrong.
Yeah.
And I
So
was just sat there going, why not just use contact?
yeah, no, yeah. So there are a number of problems. They could have done contact. They could have quite simply gone, well, I've been this guy. Have you been this guy?
But even in the same episode, Jodie and Gat used contact.
Hmm.
So like the thing was there, like it was established to be a thing in the episode. But like, why didn't Jodie and Ruth do it?
I'm trying to think of other things. The thing
Well, Ruth straight up murdered Gat.
did she? I don't remember that.
Yeah, because she had like the gun thing, and was like, oh yeah, don't use this, I'm gonna kill you and stuff like that. Then Gat took the gun. It was
See,
like,
that
you
gave
probably
that gave
shouldn't
me
do
more. That gave me more credence to the idea that
that before Hartnell.
no, not before Hartnell, but for this is someone who's taken the name of the Doctor who isn't the Doctor.
Mm,
I mean, I'm a big fan of the idea of legacies. The legacy of the
mm,
Doctor could be misconstrued in many, many ways, and that was one of them. So, like
yeah,
if you concentrate on very much on like how we as fans concentrate on maybe one era or one Doctor specifically, and that's our version of the Doctor. The same could be said for people in universe, where when they're only like when they're speaking of the Doctor, well, which Doctor are they speaking of? Are they speaking about the one who drank wine and karate chopped an ogre on, or are we talking about the one who was on a treadmill and drank carrot juice, or how about the one who was a cosmic hobo, or how about the one that blew up a tent at one point?
I
You know,
forgot about that.
like there are so many different versions of this character.
Yeah, which one is the legend about, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a little annoyed that the Doctor didn't immediately jump in to be like, no, I've got to figure out who this person is. I need to figure out who I am. What the hell's going on? It was immediately,
yeah,
oh, hey, there's a thing happening in the ocean. I'm going to go check that out now because
yeah.
distractions.
I think the reason they put that at the end was to stop the Doctor just going, oh yeah, I'm gonna figure this out, and it's gonna be,
No, well,
oh,
I'm
you're
pretty
gonna
sure
be,
the TARDIS itself, like, because I've had this idea for a long time now where the purposefully pushes the Doctor in certain ways to
mm,
avoid the Doctor feeling certain things and all that. But
mm.
this like that like that was again credence to that idea where it's like, oh, someone's fallen over in Budapest. We should probably go help them. That might have aliens. Um.
And that transitions us into Praxeus pretty well, I think.
Oh my god. Okay.
But I think Praxeus was let down by its positioning in the series
Yeah.
because like it came immediately after the episode where Jack came back. There was a new Doctor, all this cool stuff happened. It set up future events and
Mm.
stuff like that. And I think people expected Praxeus to be like a part two.
I certainly did, to be honest. I did genuinely think that like the next like so you had like the first 5 episodes where it was like single episodes. I actually thought the next 5 episodes were going to be essentially like a
A
mini
serial.
connective story arc.
Yeah,
Um,
that would have been cool.
that would have been cool. Maybe they should have done that.
Just as like a one-off thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't have it every series, but
No, no,
like.
no, 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 no.
But fun fact:
Okay.
Do you know the main guy, the guest actor?
The police officer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you know that he's one of the main cast of one of the Big Finish unit series?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Does he play
So
the same character, or?
no, it's a different character, which I
Because
think is a
that
bit
would
of a
make
missed
too much
opportunity.
sense.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I've only listened to like the first series of the unit spin-off
Mm.
thing with Gemma Redgrave and Ingrid Oliver.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure he's the one that gets half converted into an Auton.
What?
Yeah,
That sounds so cool.
I know, right?
Oh my god, okay. What would you have done if when he was chasing that kid, he just like kicked him over and and as he's lying on the floor, he just like puts his hand out. That would have been
I
fucking...
would have lost my shit.
Well, actually, don't they mention Ortons in this episode as well?
Yeah. Because
Oh
the Geordie
my god,
theorizes that the mini plastics were Auton things.
there is literally an idea for an Orton story in here, and they
Yeah,
didn't do it.
yeah.
I'm a little bit annoyed now. Because here's the thing, like, so they mention Autons in the episode.
Yeah.
But I was told that the Sea Devils were going to be in this episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when Yaz and the vlogger go to friggin' the undersea place, the environment that they're in, with the netting and like the green lighting, looks so like it screams like Sea Devil iconography.
Oh, yeah. At the very least, Silurian.
That would have been a nice plot twist, but no, it's another alien. What was it again? Actually, I can't remember.
It was an alien pathogen that eats plastic or something.
Okay,
I don't know.
right.
Even rewatching it, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
This was actually the last episode that I believe they're called Millennium Effects
Oh, really?
are actually working on Doctor Who. So they're responsible for creating all of the fantastic costumes and makeup that we've seen over the past 15 years.
Mm.
And for whatever reason, they've actually parted with Doctor Who. That was like the last thing that they actually made for the show.
Huh.
Uh, yeah. So
That's
because
pretty sad.
it is actually everything after that and from now on is actually being made in house at the BBC. But no, like I think, and I mean when you consider that they've built the original like the Auton first episode, all of the aliens we've seen in like the End of the World and Rings of Akatem, the Slovene, the Cybermen, as well as the Nightmare in Silver Cybermen. They made the new makeup for Davros. They've shaped the imagination
Like
of
they were the last things left of the RTD era.
that we know of.
Anyway, back to Praxeus. Something I did notice was like obviously Adam the astronaut's ship crashes into the Indian Ocean and
Yes.
stuff happens. Then you've got Jake sitting in the bar after he's sacked from the shop.
Yeah.
And like he finds out that his husband is presumed missing
Yeah.
via the news. I was like,
Yeah.
that wouldn't happen. The government would tell him that before it was released to the media.
Yeah. How did he
But
get that text? Like, who texted him?
yeah, what the hell? I just noticed that as well. It said that the infection is spread by touch, but like everyone touches everyone else and it's perfectly fine, so that kind of inconsistent. Um,
Okay.
when the birds crash through the skylight in Suki's lab,
Yeah.
and Jodie's like, "Don't let any of them scratch you, or you'll get Praxeus." And like, not a single person got scratched. I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, really?" Like, it would have been fine if they got infected because it was so obvious there was going to be a cure at the end.
Mm.
When everyone exploded, like with the Praxeus explosion thing turned to dust,
Yeah.
dust gets airborne pretty quickly,
Mm.
and they'd have been breathing the air, so no infection there. Like the
Yeah.
cure was spread by breathing it in.
Yeah.
But something that was interesting to me that I picked up on that, kind of contradicts previously established things.
Oh dear.
The Praxeus ship at the bottom of the Indian Ocean.
Yep.
Yeah, Suki remarks that that is what made the planet.
What?
Yeah,
The the ship that
yeah.
they
It's
came
like
on.
yeah. I had to rewind it and listen to it again to get like clarification that that's what she said. It was like, huh. One thing that did annoy me about the end of Praxeus, and it's something that a lot of people did note online,
Is it that they
was
didn't
that
go back to finding out about Roof and that?
no, it's at the end, Jake like fucks off and like tries to steer the ship out of the ocean so it doesn't blow up,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
I know where
and
you
then
go.
when it does blow up, the TARDIS like materializes around him and saves him. And it's like, well, the entire outcry that night was like, well, if the Doctor can do that for some random NPC that's never going to be seen again, why
Mm,
couldn't she do it for Adric or Lucy or anyone else who's died before the
or Astrid. That would have been
yeah or
nice.
Astrid? Anyway, can you hear me?
No.
Something that immediately stood out to me when I was watching Can You Hear Me
Yeah.
is that Yaz's mum and dad aren't present.
Yep.
It was like they were in Spyfall, so it's not like they didn't come back for the series. They're the only character Yaz has got.
Apart from her sister.
Really?
Okay, right. So when Yaz had her dreamy flashback, I didn't
Yep.
actually recognize her sister.
No, me neither.
So I thought that the thing that she was worried about, or the terrible thing she'd done, was that like she had like run over this other person in a police car on like a first day or something. That was my first thing.
Ah,
Um,
dark. One thing that I didn't like pick up on was why Yaz and his sister were having an anniversary dinner. Like, what
but
was the anniversary?
the anniversary of her trying to kill herself. That's what it was.
I completely missed that.
No, yeah. So the idea is that Yaz ran away because she was suicidal. Met that policewoman. The policewoman was like, "Come meet me in 3 years, whatever, and give me back 50p or something." Um,
Mm,
to be like, so here's the thing about Yaz and her suicide thing. So there's something you want to do with the character. It's not a bad backstory.
mm. But you have to do it right.
You have to do it right. They certainly set up some things there, but I feel like they didn't go far enough. Like, unless you had it, did you realize that the whole thing was that she wanted to kill herself?
Nope.
I didn't either until it was pointed out to me more. Because, like, because when the police officer comes to find her, she's like, "Oh, hey, traveling somewhere," and she's like, "Oh no, yeah," and then that's just like sort of it. A very simple line that you could have put in to like if you didn't want to use the word suicide, a very simple line you could have used in that bit was, "Oh, hey, you traveling somewhere?" "No, yeah, I'm just hitchhiking." The police officer should have said, "You don't seem to have any bags or any like luggage with someone who's traveling." Because why would you need bags and luggage if you're gonna go and off yourself?
Mm,
So you could at least have hinted. Hinted is probably the wrong thing. They could like I personally don't have a problem with them just straight up. If Yaz straight up said, "Look, I'm fucking depressed, mate," I would have been like, that would have been perfectly fine.
mm,
Maybe it's because I've been watching a lot, like a lot of other stuff where they aren't afraid to say these kinds of things. Doctor Who is very good at pushing uh, envelopes and agendas to try and make things more well
publicly
known,
noted.
more talked about.
Yeah,
Like
more in the public focus.
yeah, like so having the pure existence of Jack.
You
As
gotta
an
remember,
open
back
lead.
in 2005, he was actually a pretty controversial character.
Yeah. And you got to remember as well, Luke Smith was originally going to be revealed as gay on a kids'
Yes,
TV show.
yeah.
And knowing Russell T Davies, he would have said, "I'm gay." like no sugarcoating it. Like, oh, I don't like girls that way or anything like that.
Mm.
Like sci-fi is a very good place to explore these messages and these themes, and Doctor Who has already explored it. We had Vincent and the Doctor back in actually 10 years ago.
2010. My
Yeah,
God.
and you know what? That is an absolutely beautiful episode. I
Exactly.
think.
It holds up perfectly even now.
Oh yeah, like it. I think, and again, they don't directly say he's depressed, he's suicidal. I mean, I suppose it kind of banks on the idea that the audience knows this is Vincent van Gogh, he killed himself. Um,
Matt Smith does at one point say that he is going to kill himself.
Fair dues, I don't remember that. This episode should have been in Series 11.
I agree.
This kind of big emotional character stuff is something we should probably have known a lot earlier.
A lot
Um,
sooner, yeah.
anyway, so, old man and
Yes.
the young woman, god people, like, again, like with the Sea Devils, they should have been the Black and White Guardian. I didn't actually listen. Like I recognized the guy from somewhere, and I could not put my finger on. Do
Yeah,
you
same.
know what he's been in? Do you know who he was?
Tell me.
He was the guy in Children of Earth who found like the 456 frequency. So you know, like the old guy who basically went to Capaldi and was like, "Look, this old equipment has been dormant for like years, but it's only just picked up the signal now," and basically becomes like an advisor. There for like all 5 episodes.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So question, very serious question.
Come on
Who
then.
would win in a fight, this guy or the Nightmare Man?
Oh, God.
I'm putting my money on the Nightmare Man.
Yeah, I'd put money on the Nightmare Man as well.
Mm. Imagine if, at like pure out of a left field, if they were just like, the Nightmare Man's back.
Julian Bleach just turns up rocking around like he did in that one episode of Sarah Jane, just fucking tearing shit apart.
Okay, so, big controversial thing. What did you think of the Doctor brushing off Graham's fear of getting cancer again?
I don't think it was brushed off as such. I think like it's a double-edged sword because the Doctor would know what to say,
Yeah.
but at the same time, the fact that she didn't, like,
Did more damage than it should have.
no, it's like sometimes you don't know what to say,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. Like,
No, I completely agree, because I think it was I think it was more the fact it played off as a joke is what got people riled
yeah,
up. What
yeah,
would have been better, I think, would have been if the Doctor had like, I wish I had the right words to say to you at this, but
mm,
I don't.
mm,
If you want my opinion, I think you're fine. I can, if you want, I can take you to friggin' cat nuns in the 5,000 billion years in the future. But would that make any real difference? You know, like
mm.
it's
Like you might get an all clear from them, but you're still going to worry about it. So,
yeah, and it's okay to worry about.
mm,
Just, just something more comforting
yeah,
than
maybe give him a
I'm
hug.
just gonna
Because like
turn away.
that's
I'm gonna push some buttons and hope something happens.
because like that's a thing I've noticed with Jodie and this team. They say that they're a great family and a great team, but there's never any. real interaction between them.
No,
It's always just, Doctor, what's this? Doctor, what's that? There's no moments of just character. It's no moments of just like two people having a conversation. It's always, Doctor, explain this. You've got to save the Doctor. Oh, fuck the fans. Fuck the cells again.
I said this in the top 10 list, and I'm going to say it again. The fam need an episode like Boomtown.
Yeah,
They do.
absolutely.
Absolutely do.
The Haunting of Villa Diodati.
I can never pronounce that. Never pronounce it.
Well, I pronounced it wrong just there, so
The Frankenstein episode.
yes,
The
the
best
Frankenstein
episode of the series.
Yeah.
Dude. Everything I've said about these companions, how they just don't seem like people. They actually seem like people in this episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
Like this is
Big Finish did it better.
Well, yes. Okay, no, yes. So we need to talk about this. So this obviously features Mary Shelley.
Yes.
Mary Shelley was a companion of the Doctor at one point.
Yes, the Eighth Doctor. Well, eighth quotation
Was
marks.
that audio, a book, or like a comic, or what was that?
It was a set of 3 audios and one half-an-hour special
Okay.
little audio thing.
As we know from what's it called again? Night of the Doctor. As we know in that, the Big Finish audios are canon. Does what happened in this episode contradict those that special?
Well, I don't know. You tell me if you saw 2 versions of Paul McGann walking around the halls, one looking like a Frankenstein monster and the other one looking normal.
I was looking for a yes or no answer. That has not answered my question.
Yes. The answer is yes, they do contradict.
Right. So, again, with the benefit of hindsight, which one would you consider more canon?
Big Finish.
I wouldn't blame you for that.
No, it's just it handled Mary's character so much better. Like in Haunting of Villa Diodati,
Yeah.
or whatever it's pronounced, she's just there. Like, why is this story got Mary Shelley in it?
I spent a good amount of this episode of that episode getting the 2 girls confused. So I had no idea which one of them was Mary Shelley and which one was her stepsister or whatever.
I was the same on the first viewing, but on the second I was able to keep hold of it a bit more. But the Mary Shelley character in the Big Finish audios is infinitely better done.
Yeah, well, it's Big Finish, of course it is. I really loved this episode. Maybe it's because we had a surprise appearance of a Cyberman, something that wasn't mentioned in the title, something that was never rumored, something that was like a genuine surprise. Maybe it's because she actually gave the companions characters and personalities. And sure, Graham was still the funny old man, but at least like Ryan and Yaz felt like people. They actually talked to each other. Maybe it's because...
And it wasn't just about the Doctor.
It's great. The speech she gives about being like the 4 of them being a mountain and she's at the summit having to handle everything. Great Doctor scene. Something I've been waiting a long time for.
Yeah, like earlier on in the series, someone asks who's in charge. And she's like, it's a pretty flat team thing. Like, it's a pretty flat team build or whatever it was. And then episode, she's like, I'm in charge. You do as I tell you to do when I tell you to do it. And it's like, oh, Jodie's fucking owning this.
The interactions with the lone Cyberman. This episode, and I'd even go so far as to say Ascension of the Cybermen, brought back a fear factor. It brought back a threat. It treated the Cybermen like they should be treated. So I've had a Cyberman story on the back burner for a good couple of years now. It's not written. It's like it's still in. It still needs some working. But the way that the Doctor treats the Cybermen in this episode, where it's like, look, I've lost Bill. I've lost.
Yeah, I love that reference.
Yeah, no, right. That
Just
reference
like
to
when she actually loses, she's like, I'm not losing anyone else to the
yeah,
Cybermen. It's like, oh,
it's so refreshing to have an intimidating Cyberman. It's
absolutely. And the design was absolutely brilliant.
I didn't actually. So yeah, so it's an original headpiece. The
Mm.
chest and the right arm is a Nightmare in Silver Cyberman. His left arm,
It's a Mondas.
yeah, the original Mondasian one, but with a different hand. And then the legs, and this is what I didn't realize until Ascension, they're actually Cybermen legs.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great, well, Frankensteining of the Cybermen.
Mm.
It's an absolute crime that he is not the final main villain of this whole series.
Yeah, that was an injustice.
An absolute injustice, an absolute crime,
But
but
we'll get to that.
we'll get to that.
One thing that you might have an answer for, but I'm not sure I picked up on one.
Go ahead.
It was toward the end where the lone Cyberman and the Doctor are fighting over the Siberian.
Yes.
And like it goes into the Doctor and she's like, it's not gonna come out of me without a fight. And then
Yeah.
like, oh well, just murder Percy Shelley then. Alright, here it is straight away. Just no fight whatsoever.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they had two more stories, and the Cyberman needed to come back, so they had to have the Doctor give it up too easily. That's why. No, I do think that's dumb. I do think that.
Yeah.
Because I think a better story would have been if Jodie found a way to get herself and everyone else out of that house, leaving the Cyberman alone, but then go on the run and then have that Cyberman chase her down throughout time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Kind of like the chase.
Yeah, but with the Cybermen, so by default, kind of better. To be fair, that episode could not have aired on a better night, if you ask me, because the whole story is meant to be like, oh hey, there's a storm going on out, and it's been like this for months. There was a bloody storm going on outside, like the actual house when this was airing. Like, I would not be surprised if Chris Chibnall and Matt Stevens, like earlier that day, had went outside, performed some sort of rain dance just to like bring a storm across the whole of the UK, just to make sure that it was like prime, almost like 4D material for the episode that night.
Also, what was with the random ghost people? Like the little girl and the maid?
No idea. Ghosts
Yeah.
apparently exist. As I mentioned before, like storytelling it's important, and we should care more about storytelling. The week that this aired was the week that my gran passed away. She's seen every single episode up until that one. You know, like she's seen episodes that we haven't even seen because they're lost to like the ether, basically. And obviously, like, I was naturally feeling pretty shit that week. But this episode greatly improved my mood, made me feel so much better. And is probably why I hold it to such very high regard, because everything just came together, made a really great story, and made my day just that little bit better. And for that, I am truly very extremely thankful for. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Boom.
You did it.
Hooray. So, Ascension of the Cybermen.
Why did they park the TARDIS so far away?
I have no idea.
Like, if you're going to a cyber war zone, wouldn't it be a good idea to have like a quick exit? Especially if you're bringing free humans.
God, yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, fuck, one thing's went wrong, so we're all gonna die.
The Cybermen drones, where it was literally just Cyberman heads.
Yeah,
It
didn't.
looked so stupid, but I also kind of dug it. Ever since I learned that there was a cyber war in the history of Doctor Who, I've been fascinated with that idea. I think it was first mentioned in Revenge of the Cybermen.
Yeah, they did, and Big Finish did a series set during it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's literally called Cybermen.
Oh, great. Well, I know what I'm doing later. So, actually, okay, so in the very beginning, like, title sequence, when you've got all those Cybermen, like, drifting in space, they're a weird mixture of the new design Cybermen, but with the cyber heads.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Hmm,
It's like, that's weird.
yeah. Speaking of the new Cybermen, holy fuck.
They look
Holy
amazing. I
I-
fucking love them. They're
They are.
possibly my favorite Cybermen design.
I'd certainly put them up there. I'm still very fond of the cyber ones.
Do you know what they reminded me of? Like the new designs.
Yeah.
Do you know that anime Doctor Who with John
Oh my
Pertwee as
god,
the Brigadier
yes!
and that? It looked like them, so I was immediately like, fuck yes.
You know, now that you've mentioned that, that has put them up in my estimation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? They look so much like them. It's amazing.
The spikes are
Fucking
maybe a
love it.
bit too much.
I can get with the spikes.
I
You
like
know, I'm not against the spikes.
when they first when there was like a couple of like behind the scenes photos and they said these Cybermen have spikes. I was a little bit worried that they're really pronounced, but they're small enough and unnoticeable enough to like to get by me. All right, I like how the very start of the episode's like, all right, we're here, we've got this stuff, it's gonna stop the Cybermen. They set it all up, and then it fails immediately.
Yeah, like
Like,
instantly gets nullified
yeah, that was
completely.
like it's a bit cheap, but at the same time, it does prove how again how the
Advanced the
Cybermen should
Cybermen are.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the cliffhanger is where it gets a bit squiffy for me.
Yeah, it's like, here's a question. Did you expect it?
Did I expect the
Like
Master to come out?
did you expect the portal to go to Gallifrey and the Master to come out?
No. I didn't expect it to be
No.
Gallifrey. I expected the Master to turn up
Hmm.
there.
Same. Like it was the other way around for me. It was like I expect Gallifrey to come into there because they set up
Yeah.
that Gallifrey is going to be a thing later in the series.
Hmm.
But I didn't expect the Master to come out of it.
Fair dues. I mean, I don't think there's really much else to say about.
Ascension of the Cybermen.
I suppose we've got to get on to this final.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm going to take over. Hi, hey, hello everyone. I'm saying this about an hour and a half into the actual video. So the audio that myself and Jake recorded for this got corrupted after this point, and because I want to get this out as soon as possible, I don't want to bother Jake to try and organise like a new day to get this done, because I want to get this out. I want to get this done while it's still relevant. So I'm sorry, Jake. If it's anything, we both shared the same opinion that we didn't like the Timeless Children. It's been roughly 10 days since the final aired, and I'm still... Well, I now have the benefit of a week or so's like living in a post-Timeless Children world fandom thing. And yeah, what a very divisive episode. Good lordy. I obviously have some opinions. So, obviously, as a fan of the Cybermen, I was very let down with what happened to my glorious Silver Boys in this one. Because for the third time in a row, they're reduced to the Master's lackeys. I like the new design for the normal Cybermen. The Cyber Masters, on the other hand, I get that it's trying to invoke Time Lord imagery, but I'm not too crazy on it. Like who who designed the robes? that the Cybermasters are wearing. It's so weird. Maybe this master's a tailor. Maybe he actually made his own suit. That's actually, I kind of like that. But I'm not crazy about the design. Regenerating Cybermen is not something I'm against. I initially had an idea for the Daleks to get like regenerating energy, but a regenerating army of Cybermen is certainly something. But I think because it followed the revelation of the Timeless Child, I was kind of let down by it. I think what would have made it better, actually, what would have made it better would have been if, instead of the Master being the one to be like, oh hey, I'm gonna take these Time Lord bodies, I'm gonna freeze them, and then I'm gonna make new Cybermen, Cybermasters out of them. It should have been the Cybermen themselves who, once they realised that Gallifrey was on the other end of this portal, they go, no, wait a minute. Time Lords we've never been able to convert Time Lords before. This is a prime opportunity to learn how to convert Time Lords. So they land there, convert a Time Lord, get a regenerating Cyberman or something like that. And then the rest of the story is the Doctor and the Master stopping these new regenerating Cybermen, which I guess is sort of a retread of World Enough in Time and The Doctor Falls, but I mean, you've got the Master and Cybermen in the same story for the third time in a row, so you're already like retreading terrible ground. I suppose onto the Timeless Child thing itself. I'm not crazy about it. I don't like it myself. Like a lot of the people who I've talked to in person don't seem to like this idea either. I really don't know what to say about it because I'm when the revelation of the Timeless Child was you, Doctor, I was just kind of sat there, stunned, that's for sure, but at the same time, just sort of like, oh, okay. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it doesn't make sense to me, at least. It causes a lot of problem with continuity and lore for things like it's completely removed any and all stakes from Doctor Who now, because sure, on the one hand, the Doctor can now regenerate forever. We don't ever have to worry about doing another Time and the Doctor thing where he gets a new regeneration cycle. But at the same time, why did the Doctor need a new regeneration cycle in Time of the Doctor, if he was just going to regenerate anyway? People have said, the people who actually like this idea have said that this makes the Morbius Doctors canon. So in the Brains of Morbius, there was a bit where the Doctor and Morbius are doing a thing, and we see 8 previous regenerations to the Doctor, to Hartnell. And people say that this obviously answers that question. What I want to know is, why have I never heard of the Morbius Doctors until this past week? Like, I've been a fan for 14, 15 years now. Why has this never been brought up before? I swear to God, like, 'cause I've heard of the Brains of Morbius, I've never seen it. Before now, it was never mentioned that there were these 8 previous Doctors. So to me, it feels like this has just come right out of the left field, and I can't. It just seems so weird. So here's the thing: the basic idea of the Timeless Child is interesting. So a being coming from another dimension, getting taken in by the Time Lords, like horribly experimented on to then get the power of regeneration, is an interesting idea. Where it does fall flat, I think, is making the Doctor the Timeless Child. One of the things that a lot of people like about the Doctor, or liked about the Doctor, was the fact that the Doctor, was just another Time Lord. He wasn't special. What made him special was what he did. It's what was Capaldi's speech from the Doctor Falls? Like, I do what I do because it's right, because it's decent. That's what made the Doctor special, not coming from some... It's the same problem with friggin' Rise of Skywalker, and yes, I'm going to jump onto that real quick. I like the idea that Rey's parents were just, like, filthy junk traders before it turned out to be the granddaughter of Palpatine, but then also maybe technically the daughter of Palpatine, because apparently her dad's a clone, but that's Star Wars, and screw Star Wars at the minute. I've got very angry for no reason. But yeah, having it that you have to be special in order to be important is not a good message. I don't think it's a good message. But, as I said, if Time Lord society was based off of the torture of this near godlike child, we already knew the Time Lords were a bit shitty. This makes them even more shitty, in all honesty. Because I'll tell you what doesn't make sense if the Doctor's the Timeless Child. Why did the Time Lords ever let, like, the Doctor go? You know? Why did they just let William Hartnell and Susan just wander off to Earth? They didn't try and stop it. Oh no! Our like, the very basis of Time Lord society has ran away. I guess we won't do anything about it then. Swell, cool. If she really is this godlike being with endless regeneration possibilities, you wouldn't, particularly Time Lord bureaucracy, wouldn't let this child out of their sights, or this person out of their sights. You wouldn't let them do anything. You would have them hooked up to, like, a supercomputer or tubes and, like, doing all this really horrible stuff to them. You wouldn't just be like, oh hey, this person's ran off and got a granddaughter now, and now they're running off to Earth, and we're not going to do anything about it. And even then, if this was true, then they wouldn't have exiled the second Doctor. They would have been like, oh no, hey, you came back to us, you're stuck with us now, boy. And this episode ultimately left me feeling hollow more than anything, because we had, you know, like, before this, we'd actually had a pretty more or less decent, like, as much as we've said about this whole series, I was at least sort of like, no, yeah, this is definitely better than Series 11. It certainly is an improvement, but this ending has certainly... It left me feeling, oh, well, hey, that's an hour and a bit of my life I'm not going to get back. And that's not what I want from Doctor Who. I don't want to come out of an episode feeling tired and unimpressed, which is exactly what I felt. I was tired and unimpressed. And you know what makes it even stupider? The fact that, because there's been such a backlash to this idea, when the next showrunner comes around, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like, oh yeah, Timeless Child thing, didn't happen. It was a lie. And honestly, the way that the Master words it does seem like a lie to begin with, so I would not be surprised if the next showrunner's just like, no, yeah, he was lying, it was not the Doctor, he was doing it to pull a leg or something. And let's be honest, that's the only thing they really can do with this now, because just, who knows what. So, when I first announced I was doing this, I actually posted on the YouTube community tab for the subscribers, to submit their thoughts and opinions on both the series final and on the series itself. So let's see what they said. Serenity Productions said, I thought a much better season than Series 11. I can agree on that. Still not all great, but had a lot of great stuff. My favourite part was probably Jack, and least favourite was the timeline inconsistencies in the final. I can agree on that. Everyone loves Jack, and certainly as a fan of the Russell T Davies era and of Jack, it was great to see him return. Survivor Dude 120 says, I always thought that giving Chibbers the wheel and Jodie the key, pun intended, was a huge mistake. The fanbase was divided after Hellbent, and we needed something to fix it. Instead, they gave it to someone who'd written the worst episodes in the Revival / Torchwood Series 1, and an actress who can't handle the role. I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm still, like I said, that I like Jodie. She's certainly doing very well with the material that she's been given, but I think we can expect better things from her. Like I said, I really liked that bit in the Frankenstein episode with the whole this team structure is like a mountain and I'm at the summit line. And you're not wrong about Chibnall writing the worst episode of Torchwood Series 1, that being Cyberwoman, ironically enough. But you've got to remember as well, he was also basically the head writer for Series 2 of Torchwood, which is probably the best series of Torchwood. And it's certainly very odd going from Torchwood Series 2 to this, when you think of all the great character bits and the story and all that they had. Although, he was probably told what to do by Russell T Davies, so the difference being that he has complete reign now to do what he wants, whereas before he had someone to answer to. That's my thought, at least. Hold 0 gram, or maybe just hologram. The timeless child thing just doesn't make sense. It's like when 12 was with Clara, and the only explanation... It's like when 12 was with Clara, and they only explained things by saying, paradox. I like that. Clara, you're a lasagna. You want to know why? It's 'cause it's a paradox. I mean, explaining things with paradox was basically just the Moffat era altogether. So, but no, that's nice. I like that. Andy Mack says, it had some cool moments, Jack and definitely the new master, but also had its lowest moments, the way OTT political message. I think I liked it more than Series 11. A couple of episodes I would probably rewatch, except the things they did at the final has really annoyed me and makes no sense from a lore point of view. I've already gone over what I think of the lore point of view, so I do agree with this. Jack is definitely the best thing, and I do like the Master as well. OTT political message, he's probably referring to the Orphan 55 thing at the end. Again, it could have been delivered a lot better, a lot simpler. The last one is Ontos? Ontos! My name is Ontos! Poorly written, poorly acted, stolen ideas, the Cybermen overshadowed by the Master for a third time, obvious twist. I don't think they liked it. I don't think they liked it very much. Thank you all very much for that. I am posting more on the community tab, or at least I'm going to try to post more on it. So do keep an eye out for that. I suppose final thoughts. Frankly, I've been left tired by this series. Like, at this point, I'm used to Doctor Who disappointing me, and I don't like it when it disappoints me. So, you know, it's very sad to say, but I'm actually kind of looking forward to this hiatus from the show now. You know, I don't like the breaks, but quite frankly, I need a break after all that. I was cautiously optimistic with this series, and I've kind of been let down, I guess. Like I said, there's only really 2 episodes I can say I fully liked. I'm just tired. But I don't think I'm immediately going to jump into anything Doctor Who related for a good while yet, if I'm completely honest. This is a very somber way to end it, isn't it? Very sorry. This is the 1,000 subscriber video, and I wanted it to be a lot more, but things never go to plan, do they? They never do. So yeah, I'll just take this time to say thank you all very much for watching my stuff, for checking this out. If you've stuck all the way to the end, let's do one of those comment things. So if you've stayed all the way to the end. If you've stayed all the way to the end, leave a comment saying, I like his mustache. Yeah, we'll do that. If you've stayed to the end, leave a comment below saying, I like his mustache. Actually, I'll tell you what, if you liked this, a rambly podcasty format, myself and Jake used to do a podcast many years ago. If people are interested, we might try and pick that up again and do like a new podcast run. If people are interested, leave a comment below. Let us know. Tell us that you liked his mustache. But yeah, I'm gonna edit this all together. Gonna put it out, and I'm gonna crack on with the Higurashi retrospective, part 4. The thing I've been meaning to do for friggin' months now, but people wanted me to do this, so I put it on hold. So this is your fault, people. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in a little bit. Bye.